Welcome to Module 1. We're going to cover the basics of stand-up comedy in the next few lessons. The cornerstone of every single comedy routine is a joke. A number of jokes put together is a routine, and that's a stand-up comedy routine that you watch on telly, but it always starts with jokes. And a joke consists of simply a setup which sends you in one direction of thought and a punchline which changes that direction and makes you laugh. So setup, punchline. The setup could be as short as possible. You want to get the information across in as short a space of time as you can, because otherwise it's boring when someone tells you a long joke. You know, you don't want to hear, you just want to hear the punchline. So setup's nice and short, punchline as less words as possible. It can be one word or one or two or three words, but it must be short as possible. Okay, so that's your basic cornerstone of every stand-up comedy routine. There'll be some resources you'll see that we've looked for some examples of some basic jokes. So look for that. Obviously, you're going to do your own research and find particular ones that appeals to you. But that's basic the way a stand-up comedy routine is built, from joke upon joke upon joke upon joke. So guys, do the work, put extra effort in, give more, always work harder, and let's begin our journey. So right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about some different styles of comedy, different types of comedian, because at the end of the day, you've got to find what fits you and what works for you. Are you going to be a Seinfeld or a Bill Burr? So you find out what works for you. How do you want to be on stage? What do you want to do? Storytelling, observational. And once you've found that, it just makes your whole stand-up experience so much better. Basically, don't try and be a jack of all trades, because you'll end up being a master of none. I mean, find out that you need to know, if you're a really upbeat, energetic person, then obviously try and pick a style of comedy and a type of comedy that's going to work for you in that sense, that you can keep upbeat. If you're a downbeat and a depressed type person, then don't try and be upbeat. You know, when I was doing comedy, I'm quite a sort of critical and loud type person. But on stage, I was a deadpan comedian. And even though I got laughs, it just wasn't natural. I never felt that I was the comedian I wanted to be. I felt fake, and the audience felt that as well, I think. I never did particularly well in that style. So pick a style that's honest and believable and is close to yourself, and you're off onto a good start. In the resources, you'll see some different types, different styles, different comedians that we've looked at and thought, give you a good cross section, I guess, of options that are out there. So look at them, do your own research as well, find out what you really like, what you think would work for you, and that sort of starts to focus you into the character and the persona that you're looking for on stage. And keep it as close to yourself, because it comes across as honest that way. Who are you on stage? What energy, what is your persona? How do you want to be? How do you want the audience to see you? But it's all about how do you want to be on stage, because from that character, from the personality that you are, as you write your material, how you deliver your jokes, your energy, the aggression, everything about your performance, it's so important to be yourself as much as you can, an exaggerated version of yourself, of course, but yourself. I mean, when I started in comedy, I was a deadpan comedian. And I did get laughs. It wasn't I was terrible. I used to get quite a lot of laughs. I wasn't too bad, but I never felt honest on stage. I always felt that I was the wrong person. I'd sort of got into the wrong persona, and I couldn't get out of it because I was getting laughs and I was scared to take any risks. So again, I'd say to you guys, when you're trying to form your personality, your persona, who you are on stage, it's so important to spend that time really put the energy into that, because from that foundation you really can become a really fantastic act. You really can be a good comedian. Where myself, I don't think I was ever going to be a good comedian. as a basic, as a deadpan comedian. It's never going to work for me. So I can't impress upon you enough. Find out who you are on stage. What do you want to be on stage? What you are as a person, your energy, everything. From that, it all becomes easy. What you say when there's a heckler, everything that you respond to, everything when someone drops a tray or something in a club, it all comes from that character that you are. You sort of always, you've got to know what you're going to say, and you will just say it because you've got such a strong comedy character, such a strong persona. It's everything. It's just as important as the jokes itself. Well, if not as important as the jokes itself. When you're on stage and you're delivering jokes, you're going to need to be an exaggerated version of yourself. Because let's be honest, most of us were sitting down, we're talking for 20 minutes. It's not going to get audiences clapping and laughing, is just what we're looking for. So you've got to exaggerate things. You've got to exaggerate your experiences and the subjects and the areas that you want to take your comedy. It's all about exaggeration. So definitely find your persona, definitely exaggerate, expand upon your persona as much as you can, make it larger than life, but be as honest as you can to yourself. When it comes to your subject matter and the jokes that you're writing, don't try and think, what does the audience think is funny? It's about from yourself. It's what do you think's funny? What do you think's, more importantly, not just funny, what do you think's odd or weird? And once you've got that, they will sort of embrace the genuineness of your character and your joke writing, because it's your unique, it's yourself. It's all about yourself, getting that out there to the audience. Your view. They've already got their own views, but they want to hear what you've got to say about it. What do you find odd or strange? That's where suddenly, once you've got those things, your persona and your unique sort of angle on things, that's the real sort of fire that gets your comedy going to the next level. It really is. It's all about that. So don't skip past that part of the workshop and for the lessons. Really spend a lot of time. That is the most important part. Everything comes from there. That's just seed for everything that grows from there about comedy. The importance of your opening line is to get those laughs straight away, so everybody relaxes, you and the audience relax. It is great if your opening line can address an elephant in the room. You know, for example, if you've got a big nose, or you wear an eye patch, or you've got super thick glasses, or massive hair, or no hair, or something. Anything, doesn't have to be negative, but some characteristic that's perhaps obvious to the audience, because they'll be staring at your huge nose and thinking, does this person know they've got a huge nose? So you've got to deal with it. The quicker you deal with it and get a laugh, the more comfortable everyone is, they relax, and you can move on with the rest of your routine. So it's important, if you can deal with elephants in the room, deal with them. But more importantly, just get that opening line out fast, make it funny, and once that laugh start coming, it makes life a lot easier for everybody. If you're going on stage and mentioning the fact that you've got a really big nose and it needs addressing, and that's the elephant in the room, but your nose is sort of moderately big, then, you know, if everyone's looking, going, it doesn't look that big to me, again, it doesn't look authentic. It's going to make you look a little bit untrustworthy, to be honest. So only deal with things that need addressing. Don't have to share every minor detail. The ears are slightly larger than normal or something like that. No one cares. Often a comedian will jump on stage and their opening line is, I look like such and such. Well, it's great if that someone's Danny DeVito or Jerry Seinfeld that everybody knows. But if that person's some obscure person that works at the bakery in Canning Vale or some suburb, no one that's going to know who this person is. So there's no chance of any laughter there. Okay, so make sure your references are universal. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Your opening line doesn't always have to link to the next piece of routine or the next piece of next jokes in your routine. But obviously, if you can link it all to make it flow, it's going to come across a lot funnier and a lot better and more easier to watch. A really good example of an opening line is a local comedian, Hayden Stevens. Hayden's in a wheelchair, so his opening line mentions the fact that he loves doing stand-up comedy. And of course, as he says stand-up comedy, he's sitting down in a wheelchair and the audience laugh straight away. So he's inviting the audience to laugh. They're not feeling uncomfortable because he's already addressed the fact he's in a wheelchair and he's okay about laughing along with that. So in the resources below, there's a few examples that we've put together of some opening lines and some dealing with the elephants in the room, and just some great examples to sort of make you have a better understanding of what we're dealing with right now and what we're discussing. So look at the resources below, and before we go into the next module, let's spend some time. I want you guys to spend some time now working on your opening lines. You're dealing with the elephant in the room, or just working on those opening lines that are funny from the outset, that say something about you, that are a little personal to you at least, that are funny. Just get an opening line out that's funny. Don't just write one down. Get 2 or 3 or 4 opening lines down so that you can pick the best one of those opening lines. Ask your friends, ask other comedians what they think of the opening lines. It's good to always have more than not enough jokes. So look forward to seeing you in the next module. The next module is we're going to be digging really deep into writing comedy. So there's a lot of writing exercises in the next module, so look forward to seeing you then.